Today's word creation will be about a tactic where people withhold their typical greatness and exuberance in order to show what is normal and expected and show that their greatness may be taken advantage of. So let's dive into the video. Alright, I would say that was a good enough example. We can probably return to normalcy and show off our greatness once again. We'll be gesticulating all around the fucking camera like we always do, instead of the monotone frozen man that I was going into there. And that is what I'm going to be talking about. It's when someone is typically so phenomenal and fantastic and just great at what they do, and then they feel unappreciated or they need to change something, so they take that away. And they do this typically to prove a point or to inspire or show people that they have to give them the respect for their greatness that they are exuding. And there's been, I'd say, one person in my actual life that has really demonstrated this well, and then one person on like a TV show that's also a good example. And so I'll start with the example from the TV show because more people will probably relate to and understand that one. It's from Ted Lasso. And Ted Lasso, awesome show. I like the first season more than the second. Anyway, there's a scene where Ted, who is normally this unbelievably optimistic, energetic, quirky guy, decides to go into a character where he's just like a normal asshole coach instead of just the super upbeat, positive guy that he normally is. So he just goes on a tear and shows his team that's been pretty unappreciative of him that, okay, this is what you normally get. I bring different stuff. I bring greatness. How about I go back to what you normally get and let's see how you feel about it. And so it's a complete contrast of who Ted Lasso really is. They might call him Lead Tasso in the show. I can't remember exactly. But he becomes this belligerent, just angry dude, which is the complete opposite of Ted throughout the rest of the show. So it's taking away what he normally is and how he's so exceptional typically and showing, okay, this is what you normally get if I am not around. And in the show, it's used to like make him the enemy to try to make some teammates reunite. I think that it can be used for other ways too, more of what I was saying where it's like, you let people realize how special you really are when you do this. And I think it can be a valuable thing to do, even if you're like, okay, I don't need to get all this praise from people, but they should realize what I'm doing is special, and hopefully it can inspire them at that point. And I would say that's more of what my actual life experience with this was. So I had an amazing 6th grade social studies teacher. This guy's name was Mr. Eberhardt, and he was a phenomenal teacher. He was super energetic, funny, charismatic, and everyone loved him. Like, he was so great. We had kind of a rowdy class, though, and sometimes we didn't appreciate him. And we were just not being super respectful. And I can't remember if he did this more than once, but there was a day where he's just like, all right, if that's how you guys are going to be, this is how I'm going to be the rest of the day. And so he just talked like monotone, didn't put in effort, just kind of walked through the paces, didn't do anything special. We're like, wow, we usually look forward to this class. He's usually amazing. And we took away this greatness from him by our behavior. And that's where I think this can be really powerful. Because if people don't appreciate greatness, it can take it away. And I think that is where people need to realize how important it is to recognize things that are great. That's kind of why I've been going through and doing a video of the day, song of the day. So I can like kind of say, hey, these things are awesome. Pay attention to them. If you need some entertainment, check this out. This stuff's great. And of course, people aren't paying attention to them a whole lot right now. But I think that just recognizing things that are good, great, and that people have put effort into is really important. So that's something that I like to try to do. So to categorize this tactic and decision to remove your greatness and then bring it back to show people the contrast and the sacrifice that they make to be great, I am going to call it Normardto. There's actually a lot of different elements to this word. It starts with norm, because you're breaking your norms, or you're breaking a sense of normalcy, because you're going away from your amazing work and state, and you're returning to what's normal for everyone else, and not being great. So that's where norm comes in, and it also is Normardto, which kind of sounds like nor muerto. Muerto means death in Spanish, so it's kind of like the death of the normal in a way there. However, I didn't want to have that exact spelling because I wanted to kind of pay tribute to who this word is based off of. So the end of Eberhard is actually in Normardto. So that's why we go into the ARDT. That's pulled straight from Eberhard. That's the end of it. And then we end with an O for Ted Lasso. We've got norm, kind of sounds like muerto at the end, death of normal. And then also we've got Eberhard, we've got Lasso, the people that inspired this word creation. And that encompasses basically everything that I wanted to create and change for this video. So now let's move on to our comment of the day. Okay, comment of the day is from Gavin. He says, you should definitely make a move on your date, but that's just me. Great example of capiche ? Thank you for the comment, Gavin. My date actually did get moved back. Hopefully it's happening today instead. But it actually did not happen yesterday when you posted this, so I was never really even given an opportunity to. But I would say this is a pretty good usage of the word capiche that I created yesterday. If I were to make this sentence a little more accurate and closer to what capiche is, I would probably get rid of the word definitely, because then that takes away some of the confidence and certainty in your advice and makes it a little bit harder to blame you because you're not taking a firm stance. Overall, though, I would say you've got the gist, and saying, but that's just me at the end, may not be as effective as I don't know in preventing you from being blamed. However, it is still quite good and falls under the capiche umbrella. So a very solid job out of you. We're going to give you a 178 out of 224. Then for the song of the day, we had to recognize some greatness that I had not already. And that was because I realized I hadn't done a Joji song for Song of the Day yet. And he is an artist that I'm extremely appreciative of. He's done amazing things on YouTube and now in music as well, and is just extraordinarily talented. So I wanted to feature a song of his. I picked Run by Joji. And then video of the day is the Lead Tasso clip that I mentioned earlier to give you a little bit of an example of the contrast from normal Ted Lasso and reinforce this Normardto change. And that will be everything for the Daily Do. Peace out.